Time for our Wall Street book review. Last week we looked at Bull by Maggie Marr. This week we look at The Patriarch, a recently published biography of Joseph P. Kennedy by David Nasaw. If you're fascinated by the Kennedys, as many Americans are, a family that dominated politics in America for over 50 years, well, this book gives you the background story on the history of the Kennedy clan. Joseph Papa Kennedy was an Irish American, the father of John F. Kennedy. Joe Kennedy was rich, flamboyant, smart, and politically connected. And as the book tells us, Joseph Kennedy made millions in the stock market between 1915 and 1930, buying and selling stocks, many times trading on inside information. And he was appointed by Franklin Roosevelt as the first chairman of the Securities Exchange Commission in 1932. Roosevelt called Joe to Washington, D.C. to clean up the securities industry. There's an old story. Somebody asked FDR why he had tapped such a crook. Takes one to catch one, replied Roosevelt. Now, I quote from Wikipedia, Kennedy's reforming work as SEC chairman was widely praised on all sides as investors realized the SEC was protecting their interest. His knowledge of the financial markets equipped him to identify areas requiring the attention of regulators. One of the crucial reforms was the requirement for companies to regularly file financial statements with the SEC, which broke what some saw as an information monopoly maintained by the Morgan banking family. Now, Joe Kennedy made a lot of money using insider information. Now, let's define insider trading. Insider trading is when an investor, a fund manager, a stockbroker, an insider in the public company who's someone who owns 10%, or a corporate official, buys or sells a stock based on non-public material information. And by material, I mean market-moving information, something that could cause the stock to go up or down. Section 16B and 10B of the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 prohibit insider trading. These rules were put in place after the stock market crash of 1929 and were a result of the work of Joseph Kennedy. Now, of course, greed, high ambition, severe competition continue to halt Wall Street, and insider trading is still a major problem. The SEC has taken down some very high-profile Wall Street players over the last 12 months. You've seen the stories on Galleon, a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund. SAC Capital is under pressure now from the SEC. They've had fund managers there who have admitted to insider trading. In closing, The Patriarch is a book that details the life of Joseph Kennedy and his sons, while providing a rich history of his times. He was a high-profile Irish American who rose to fame and riches. He was a Hollywood mogul, a major player on Wall Street, an ambassador to England during the start of the Second World War. He would raise a political dynasty culminating in the ascension of his son, John F. Kennedy, to the presidency. His life, unfortunately, ended tragically, as did John F. Kennedy's when he was assassinated. I could not put this book down. I give it a strong buy.